Ian Rapoport dropped the bomb late in the afternoon. The Buccaneers are set to interview Dan Pitcher, the Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator, for the OC job in Tampa Bay. And that alone completely shifts the tone of this offseason. When a team reaches the point of looking for its fifth offensive coordinator in 5 years, it's no longer just about a staff change. It's about rebuilding identity. Todd Bowles knew this move would be the first big step of 2026. Josh Grizzard was out after just one season, and honestly, nobody inside the building expected him to last. The offense froze, the rhythm disappeared, and what was left was a team that always felt a step behind its own talent. The firing wasn't about finding someone to blame. It was about admitting there was a hole, a loss of direction. And now, the Buccaneers are trying to fill that void with something deeper than a new playbook. They're trying to rediscover purpose. That's why this interview with Pitcher isn't just some behind-the-scenes note. It's a sign that Tampa is finally focusing on structure instead of flash. If you've been following this team for a while, you know what that means. You've seen talent wasted because there was no rhythm, no cohesion. And if this all sounds familiar, it's because it happens almost every January. But this time feels different. There's real urgency now, and maybe, finally, a shot at real change. If this kind of talk hits home for you as a Bucs fan, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Around here, we don't chase hype. We chase the heartbeat of this team, one decision at a time. Now, let's break down why the name Dan Pitcher makes so much sense right now. Because unlike some of the bold swings we've seen in recent years, this move actually fits. And maybe, for the first time in a long while, it points in the right direction. Back on the field, Todd Bowles knew the moment called for something different. He couldn't just promote another assistant, hope for the best. This team has gone too far to keep winging it. That's why the search for a new offensive coordinator kicked off fast and surprisingly aggressive. Plenty of names came up, some with head coaching experience. But over the past few weeks, one name started getting real traction. No big announcement, no media circus, just quiet respect. Dan Pitcher, the Bengals offensive coordinator, the guy who spent 4 seasons coaching Joe Burrow, helping shape him into one of the most poised and precise quarterbacks in football. Pitcher isn't the kind of name that gets fans buzzing right away. He's not a sideline celebrity or a viral soundbite guy. But inside NFL circles, he's known for something Tampa Bay desperately needs right now: consistency. And it's worth noting, this isn't the first time the Bucs have crossed paths with Pitcher. They interviewed him last year, liked him, but he decided to stay in Cincinnati. At the time, it made sense. Burrow was healthy, the Bengals were stable, and Pitcher was still climbing the ladder under Zach Taylor. But things have changed. The Bengals lost Burrow for long stretches the past 2 seasons and still managed to stay productive. That caught people's attention, and now, with Pitcher taking on more responsibility, the Bucs are back at the table, this time a lot more serious. It almost feels symbolic that this interview is happening now. Tampa hits the offseason with that mix of frustration and quiet hope. The defense still carries the load, but even Bowles knows that's not enough anymore. He can keep building a strong unit, sure, but this team won't evolve if the offense keeps sputtering. And what's fascinating about Pitcher is that he doesn't come from some flashy highlight reel system. His background is precision execution, roots with timing, passing concepts built patient, layer by layer. No instant genius, just craftsmanship. And that fits exactly where Tampa is right now. Baker Mayfield doesn't need a mad scientist play caller to reinvent him overnight. He needs someone who gets who he is. Emotional, gritty, competitive, but structure-dependent. Pitcher's resume shows he knows how to work with that kind of quarterback. In Cincinnati, he helped Burrow evolve from raw promise to a guy who never panicked, even when the pocket collapses. That kind of calm doesn't come from talent, it comes from coaching. And that's exactly what Tampa needs to rebuild: calm. The Bucs have the pieces. Mike Evans is still the same reliable target. Chris Godwin, maybe not quite as explosive as before, but still the heartbeat of the passing game. Rachaad White showed real growth down the stretch, but all that talent goes to waste when the offense can't find rhythm. For years, Tampa has been a team of flashes. One great game, one bad one, a spark, then a stall. No identity can survive that kind of inconsistency. Pitcher might finally bridge that gap. between talent and steadiness. And here's the kicker. He doesn't even call plays in Cincinnati. Zach Taylor does. But pitchers' fingerprints are all over that offense, especially in quarterback development and game preparation. That tells you something. He understands how to build a system from the inside out. And that's why this move could be a turning point for Bowles. The defensive-minded head coach seems ready, maybe for the first time, to truly hand over the keys to an offensive mind. That hasn't always been his strong suit. If this interview turns into an offer, it could mark the start of a quieter, steadier chapter in Tampa. Less about hype, more about foundation. And maybe it's no coincidence that Tampa's looking to the AFC North, a division built on toughness, discipline, and consistency. Teams that win by knowing who they are, not by trying to impress. Maybe that's exactly what Tampa's hunting for right now. Not flash, stability. What stands out is how, even without Burrow for much of the past 2 years, Cincinnati's offense still ranked 12th in points per game, 16th in total yards, and near the top of the league in red zone efficiency. That doesn't happen by luck. It's the kind of under-the-radar success that front offices pay close attention to. And Tampa noticed. Inside one Buc place, the feeling isn't panic. It's urgency with perspective. The revolving door of offensive coordinators has left scars. Every new voice brought a new system, new terminology, new habit. The result? An offense that had to relearn how to talk every single year. Now the priority is continuity. The Bucs need someone who stays, someone who builds, someone who grows with Baker Mayfield instead of resetting him every offseason. Pitcher represents that kind of hire. More technician than showman, not here to reinvent culture, but to organize. And that's exactly what this fan base, tired of slogans and quick fixes, is ready for. The vibe in Tampa right now is cautious optimism. Nobody's shouting about big name or splash hire. The word around town is simple: functionality, an offense that works, sustains drive, lets the defense breathe, makes use of the talent already in the room. Even among the players, you can feel it. Mayfield wants stability. Evans wants creativity in how he's used. Godwin wants to be central again, not an afterthought. Pitcher's reputation for clarity and efficiency could tie it all together. What's most interesting about this search is what it says about the mindset of the franchise. When a team starts valuing builders over savior, it's a sign of maturity. And honestly, it's about time. Since the Super Bowl run in 2020, the Buccaneers have been chasing ghosts, trying to recreate old versions of themselves. Shortcuts, patches. Now, they seem ready to do the hard part, rebuild from the ground up. The interview with Dan Pitcher may or may not end in a deal. But the very fact that Tampa's pursuing someone like him says a lot. Patience might finally be part of the plan again. And if it works, it could be the first real step toward giving this offense something it's been missing for years: a true identity. Not borrowed, not copied, built. Because sometimes finding out who you are starts with stopping the act of pretending to be someone else. That's exactly where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are right now, somewhere between their past and their future, between urgency and purpose. And while Dan Pitcher's name might not light up every headline in town, there's something steadying about knowing the team is at least searching in the right place. Football runs in cycles, and maybe this is the start of a smarter one. Maybe this is the moment Tampa finally learns how to build the offense it's always wanted. And if that happens, it'll be because of decisions like this: quiet, deliberate, meaningful. Because sometimes the biggest changes don't come with noise. They start like this, in a quiet office in Tampa, with one interview that just might change everything. And yeah, you can feel it.